to another show here with Raina T. Okay, we are your hosts, and tonight we are going to be talking about psychic attacks. Okay, we'll also be
Yes.
doing a little bit of a story time, going into our own personal experiences dealing with psychic attacks, and I just want to christen this show by saying, you know, you really ain't a real witch if
Yes.
you haven't experienced. I just gotta call it like you really not about that life if you haven't experienced a psychic attack on some form or
Okay.
another. Like psychic attack, being psychically attacked is oftentimes the gateway to better understanding your own psychic persona and developing a psychic, having psychic evolution. So like it's like being touched. Okay, you
Yes.
gotta get touched before you know that you need to put your guard up and you need to square up with your magic. Okay,
Okay.
so that's just my personal feelings on it. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have to go through that initiation process, and a lot of times it is very traumatic. A lot of times it is something, especially if you come from like a Christian upbringing or you've never experienced that before, you are a non-believer and then you experience a psychic attack, it can really throw your equilibrium for a loop, and you have to, like, well, damn, like, let's see.
Yeah,
So we're
absolutely.
here to share with you guys, yeah, our story time and our experience. So is there anything you want to add to that of what?
Basically, yeah, reiterating what you're saying. Like, if you have not been psychically attacked, you're not a witch and you're not a psychic. Like, there's no way in hell that you can just, go la di da di da into the light and everything and just, oh, psychic, I'm an empath and all this, and that you've never had an entity attack you or come into your mind and give you something, some sort of information, misinformation, put some sort of something in you that puts you on guard. Like, you have that's a part of the whole psychic experience, especially as a newbie, um
As a
it,
newbie?
especially as a
Yeah.
newbie starting out, because your defenses are naturally going to be down as a newbie. You don't know about how to build a wall around you psychically or to be on your guard. So, I mean, I kind of want to start the story time so we can put into perspective what that is, as far as like being a newbie, being new into the craft and into just our abilities, and also, um how we had our guard down in these situations, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna just describe that for you guys so you can kind of see like the type of situation, because I feel like both of our stories have a lot of similarities to them. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
how about you start, Miss Raina, and give us your story time?
Okay. Um, and just to add to that, like I wanted to touch on a little bit of what you said about that whole newbie experience and stuff like that. Sometimes you may have to have any interest or want to touch the craft and experience a psychic attack. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and psychic attacks can come from both, people who are non-magically inclined, but just have some innate psychic ability. It can come from a foreign entity looking to psychic vampire you or leech from you. It could come from another witch, obviously a worker
Absolutely.
for somebody. So those are the different variations. In both of our cases for this particular story time, because trust, we done had to go toe to toe with some witches
Oh
too, but that
yes. Oh
that's probably
yes.
not gonna be this story time.
It's
We're
not.
most
And you know
likely gonna
what?
help.
About that,
Mm-hmm.
about that, like, us being newbies, we were not like known witches at the time, so there wasn't gonna be no witch that was gonna attack us. Like, usually if you're a newbie, it's gonna be a spirit that's gonna come for your ass. You know
Spirit.
what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, okay, so let's start off with my story time. So this happened to me when I was about 18, 19. I was on break from school and I was staying at a friend's house. Okay, I had a boyfriend at the time, and this was a mutual friend of ours, and he invited us to come stay at his place. Now, when I get to my friend's place, mind you, his apartment was the middle of downtown. It wasn't on no Indian burial ritual ground, honey, or not that I know of. It was just in downtown. And so I go to my friend's house and we go inside. And immediately when I go inside, I noticed that there was this antique television. You know, my friend's apartment is pretty modern, very modern or whatever. You know, has washer, dishwasher, dryer, things like that. But he had this old antique. It looked like it could have been from the 1970s, maybe, you know, late 60s or something. Very antique television set. It was colored as well. So I noticed the television. I was kind of like, okay, like whatever. And at that time, my partner and my friend, they were both working. They both had jobs. So I was on break from school. I was not working at the time. So I was just there at the house during the week by myself. I had like a week off. So I was there at the house by myself, or the apartment by myself while they were away. And I would say probably 2 days in, maybe a day or two in, is when I experienced a psychic attack. So I'm in the living room and where the TV is. I had been watching the TV. I had like a little PlayStation on the TV, and I was just, you know, doing my thing. And as I'm sitting in the living room, okay, I'm sitting on the couch, and in this particular day or this particular afternoon, I was on the laptop. I was on my computer, so I wasn't really even on the TV. The TV was off, giving you pure blank screen, and I'm looking at the screen. You know, like actually no, I was in the living room sitting on the couch, and to the opposite side, let's say parallel to the television was a tan colored couch. Okay, the couch was tan and colored. And I remember this because when I saw the spirit, okay, the spirit was black, or an outline of a shadow figure sitting on the couch. But we're going to get there. So I'm sitting on not the parallel couch, not the tan colored couch, but another couch that was in the living room set. And I could feel the temperature change in the atmosphere. I could feel the room, like the pressure sort of tighten and just sort of, it felt different, like something has shifted. And I'll never forget the lighting, okay, the lighting that was on in the kitchen, it didn't flicker, okay, it faded out and then it came back in. Okay, so it wasn't an immediate flicker. It was like the light drained out and came back in. So as I recognize now, something like a portal was open. You know, some sort of rift had been opened and something came into the room. Okay, so me being 19 and not really having any experience with magic at that time. Well, actually, I had experience, but still a newbie, pretty much a newbie. I'm like looking around the room because I'm like, something's up, like something feels different. What is going on? And my eyes fall upon the television set, okay? And in the reflection of the black screen, I can see the tan colored couch. And as I'm looking at the reflection, okay, in reality, there is no figure sitting on the tan colored couch. In my reality, where I'm sitting, you know, tangible, where I'm sitting, like I don't see nobody over there. But in reflection of the television screen, I see a hunched over figure who's sitting on the couch with both elbows on his knees and, you know, with his head kind of resting on his, you know, his two hands. And he's watching me. Okay, now I cannot make out any eyes. All I can make out was his limbs and his structure. And it gave man. Okay, and I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, I don't want to, I see this, I'm interpreting this, I don't want to blink because I don't want to miss it. I'm like, am I really seeing the outline of a shadowed figure? You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all this in my mind because I'm the type of bitch, like, if something pops off in front of me, I try to give zero reaction. Like, a lot of reaction will be happening inside of myself instead of like me just being like, oh my God, like what? Oh gas, like no bitch. I'm gonna keep myself collect and I'm just gonna like interpret. Like I'm just gathering, interpreting. I'm like, wow, it's really a figure right here. So I see the figure and the figure's just sitting there, no movement at all. And I feel myself, you know, there's something inside myself. It's like, call out to this motherfucker, you know, say like, you know, demon, you know, what are you doing? And that's what I said. I said out loud, I'm like, you know, be gone from here, demon. Honey, I said it off in this motherfucker. Okay, this spirit was like, what? Like, bitch, there was, honey, it started to that, like, I don't know how to describe it, but you know, like in paranormal, like those movies, like the Paranormal movie, or like The Grudge, where like the spirit is kind of like vibrating and it kind of looks like a static hue that forms around, like there's like this shift and kind of movement and it seems like they're vibrating a little bit. It was giving that to you. Okay, so the spirit is like shaking, honey, shuddering and, you know, warping, and I'm just like, whoa, like this is actually happening. Like, you know, my sanity at this point, like I'm like really checking my sanity, like, am I seeing this? Is this really happening? Bitch, what the fuck am I on? Like, girl, did I get a bad batch? Like, what's going on? And so I'm just observing this and I'm like, oh. And lo and behold, and this is what happens when you are psychically attacked. The spirit waits to, first of all, be recognized. A lot of times. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just penetrate your noggin and they should get in that and they attach to that psychic link, which we all have. Okay? Some people are a little bit more heightened in their sense and perceptive in their sense than others. But they latch on and they kind of attach to that line and they start going in and they start telling you the most malicious, despicable things. I mean, ever that was like thoughts that you know are not your own will be filling your head. Oh, and that's what the spirit did. You know, once the spirit registered that I had, you know, awareness of it, it was easier for it to make that attachment. Honey, that spirit was like, bitch, you're gonna die. You should commit suicide. Jump out the fucking window right now. Kill yourself. You know, you're gonna burn in hell. I mean, just going in. And I was like, literally at half me, I'm just like, whoa. Like, just, like, whoa. Like, wig snatch, eyebrow snatch, girl. Just toss to the bag, like, flip. I'm like, where is this coming from? I'm like, are you, like, really? And it's the spirit is just nonstop screaming, just going in, you're gonna fucking die, bitch, you're gonna die. It's funny now, but bitch, at the time it was not funny. Okay, I was shook, okay, scared, like, I'm literally at this point thinking that I'm going to have an Emily Rose experience, you know, I'm going to be possessed, you know, they're going to have to strap me to a bed and exorcise the spirit out of me because I'm going to be body snatched at this point. And the spirit is just like, yes, you know, I'm going to take over your body, I'm going to take your mind, you are mine, you're going to sink into hell, just going in, honey. So I'm shook, I'm there sitting on the couch, just still, like frozen and paralyzed in fear, and I can feel this heavy, like the spirit literally trying to mount me, okay, like something trying to take, you know, and ride my head, you know, just my crown chakra felt thick, it felt murky, it felt heavy, and I'm there just like still looking at the TV, still watching the spirit kind of like, you know, act crazy and shit in the screen. And I eventually say to myself, I'm like, you know, I have to move. I have to do something. I have to intercept this connection. And my body was, like, the energy was drained from my body. I felt like something was sucking the life force from me, and I couldn't even move. I couldn't even get up. And so I felt myself slouch, okay? I literally, like a puddle, you know, like a puddle of slime dripping down from the couch onto the floor. I just kind of like just rolled, honey, just rolled down to the carpet, and I like crawled over to the TV, and I like try to press the television button to turn on the television set. Now, mind you, when I turned the TV on, the channel could have been on any other channel, and it could have been any other thing that I saw. The first thing that I saw when I turned on the television set was it was on Animal Planet, okay? And you know how they have the cameras and they tease the snake and the snake will bite at the camera? The snake was a snake biting at the screen. Honey, when I tell you, I just fell back. I just fell back, girl. I was just out, like, oof, just fainted. Because in my mind, at that time, that was it, bitch. Like, the girls were coming for me. I was going to be dragged to hell. I wasn't going to know my name anymore, girl. Like, some other bitch was going to be riding my body. Another bitch was going to be walking as me, like, body snatch. Okay? And I just felt sad. Like, I was sad. I was scared. I was like, oh, my God. Like, you know, I don't think I prayed because I just never was about that life, you know. But I was just like, I remember just, like, silently, like, at some point, though, I remember trying to fight back. I was like, you know, you're not gonna win. Like you're not gonna take me. You're not gonna win. But at that point, the entity was fueled on so much fear and so much, you know, anxiety. It was just fueling it, and the voice became clearer and clearer in my mind and in my head, and it was just almost like the person was whispering, not even whispering. I'm sorry, screaming in my ear, like right behind my head. Going in. You're gonna die. Yes, bitch, be afraid. You're gonna think it's a hell. All this gruesome shit. And eventually, I told myself, I was like, I don't want to fall asleep. Like, just don't fall asleep. But I felt so heavy, and I felt so tired, so worn out. So I turned the TV quick, you know, after falling back, honey, it's painting like just drama, honey, just drama. Just Oxygen, honey, Oxygen television movie series, honey, bitch. I'm just out on the floor. I collect myself and I get back up and I'm like, turn the TV off, girl. I turn this TV off, and then I start to feel myself want to fight back, and I'm like, you're not gonna take me, you know, you're not gonna win, and this and this and that. But I realized that I need to get out of the living room. Now, being that my partner and my friend were at work and I didn't have a key to the place, I didn't want to leave the house, you know, and that thing being on me and me just being outside, like, I didn't know what that experience was going to be like. So I ended up literally going to my best friend's, my friend's room and crawling in his bed and just, like, falling asleep. Which I know, it was like, what the hell? But I end up not dreaming, okay? I end up not dreaming, and my boyfriend got home first, and he woke me. He was like, what are you doing in, like, what's her name's bed? And I'm like, oh, you wouldn't even believe me if I told you. And I just, like, started breaking down and telling him, and he's like, whoa, like, that's crazy. And then I call Miss Raina, yes, my friend who we're on the phone with now, who's been with me through all my trials and tribulations, and who advised me, because at that time I was a lot more novice than he. So he was telling me, like, you need to cleanse, you gotta be strong, you gotta fight, you know, because when I woke up, something was definitely on me. I remember feeling this heavy cloud of depression and doubt and, you know, feeling just apathy, complete just like, like I was gonna die. I was sure that the spirit had mounted me and it was gonna be slowly but surely taking me out and inserting itself in, you know. So luckily I had Raina with me at the time, and who told me to cleanse, to purge, you know, to get some sea salt, bitch, and fight this motherfucker back. And it ended up being that I fought the spirit back. Okay, I did a cleanse of my friend's house. I did a purging of my friend's house. Bitch, I whooped that. I came back in there and I was like, bitch, let's go round two. let's go. And it comes to find out the spirit was in the TV. I guess the owner of that television set, was a spirit and, probably died in that house and attached to the television. And then when the television was moved, it was still attached. A part of it was still attached to that television. Okay, so it was like a shade. It was like a shade of an entity, a person, possibly. But yeah, I fought that motherfucker vision and broke it down and kicked his ass out. He had to go, and I was cleansed. I was healed. So that's my personal experience.
Wow.
In story time of being attacked. Yes.
That's amazing. Well, I guess I can give my little story time as well. Which is similar to yours in many aspects. A lot of things that you said definitely resonated with me. Well, as far as me, this was, and mind you, you had your experience before I did. So you were prior to this happening to me, I never had a psychic attack before. So with me, I was with with a friend at the time, this girl. I was with her, and we went to go, I guess, hang out with this guy that she knew, and we went to the guy's house or whatever, and we were chilling or hanging out because he lived in an apartment complex. So we were chilling like at the pool area. Okay, so we were like sitting at a table by the pool area, not close to the pool, but the pool was over there, and we had like trees on the side. It was a very cute little beachfront property type apartments. And we were there hanging out, and the guy, and it was nighttime, by the way. It was nighttime, like maybe 10 o'clock at night, 11, whatever. And the guy had a blunt. Okay, he had some weed, and we were smoking that shit, and it was loud. It was some fire ass shit. And I think it sure was. And I think at that time, I think it was a while that I smoked. It had been a while. Like, it had definitely been a while. So, I was hitting that shit, whatever, whatever. And my friend and the guy, like, they weren't really talking about nothing. We were kind of just sitting there, passing the blunt. And then I think the blunt had finished, and we were kind of just there. That's what I remember. And in my mind, because at that time, I was doing a lot of like traveling in my mind, because that was after our breakthrough that we had. Remember that breakthrough? I think we got to do a video on that breakthrough that we had that first night. Yeah, we got to do a video about that. But this was after the breakthrough. So after the breakthrough, I was doing a lot of like just astral travel while I was high, and I was I was reading the Akashic records a lot at that time too, and it was coming a lot clearer to me. So while we were sitting there basically doing nothing, I was reading the Akashic records, and I went back in time. I saw the beginning of the universe. I saw like when the trees were created and the trees rose from the ground. I was being revealed a lot of secrets. And I was just there sitting down. My friends had no idea, and I'm just there, just receiving and receiving and receiving just the universe and the stars. And I was just like, I was even saying like the first humans. I remember like all of this stuff. And it was even like weird things were happening similar to our breakthrough. Like, we got to talk about this in depth, like on that show, but like things were happening where like people would open their door and look out and then close it, or like somebody would walk. It was just like a lot of things that were happening, or like even a leaf would fall like right on time, like and then like at one point like a dog came and sat right in front of my friend. And then it's so funny because she has a necklace of a saint who he walks with a dog. And I was like, look at that. Isn't that funny how like that dog came and sat right by you, and you have a necklace of the protector, and his animal is the dog, you know. So that's kind of funny. And her dad actually practices Santeria, and he gave her that necklace from that saint, you know, purposefully. And the Loa who that saint is synchronized with is Legbug, and it's Saint Lazarus.
Oh yes, saying that.
Yeah, so that was her thing or whatever. So I was like, that's the spirit. Like, look at that. He came and sat by you. Like, that's not a coincidence that the dog did that. So it was a lot of things, you know, people coming in and out. Like, you know, it was just a lot of like weird synchronicities that were going on, and I was clocking all of it. I was picking up on all of it, and all of this situation going on or whatever. And all of a sudden, I get hit. All of a sudden, this voice comes out of nowhere. And it's like you said, yeah, I was too lit and I was too open. I was too open. I was receptive. I was too receptive. Like my whole mind was expanded, you know, and when you expand, you're gonna receive those entities because you're open to everything and everything is out there, you know. It's not all peaches and cream, honey, okay? So the entity came in my mind, and it's like you said, the entity began screaming, and it was just like, and it was doing that, and you know, it was like, you're crazy, you know. And from this, and that I would go to the mental institution. It was saying that, like, and in my head, I was like, oh my God, like I'm losing my mind, like I'm going crazy. And I was like, shut up. In my head, I was like, shut up. And it was like, no. And they would just scream and scream. And it's like it was taking over me. Like I felt like I was losing my mind. I felt like I was being possessed. And I felt like I felt like this was it. I felt like this day was the turning point of my life at that moment.
My life, right?
Yeah, like I felt like from this day forward, I will never be the same. I felt like I felt like a stain. I felt like it wanted to imprint itself inside of me and be there forever, you know, and I felt hopeless. Um, I felt like I had like something, yeah, like something was definitely wrong. And mind you, you were by yourself, but I had these people in front of me. So they even noticed, they were looking at me like, are you okay? They said that the color left my lips, like my lips were white. I was just sitting there, just fighting, and but not even moving. And eventually I got a grip on it, and like I with my visualization, I visualized myself grabbing the spirit and actually like pushing it outside of myself and into the street, across the street. I try to like push it out of me. I'm like, get out, like I remove you. You know, I was doing that for like a good maybe 20-30 minutes. Like I was reinstating it. I was doing it over and over again until eventually like I calmed down, because I was literally having anxiety. I was having a panic attack.
Yeah.
If I wasn't sitting down on that chair, I would have fainted. That's what was happening. Like I almost passed out as well. Like I became overwhelmed at one moment with everything that was happening. I couldn't take it. But see, the fact that I was sitting down helped me maintain my composure, and I was able to kind of work my way through it. But there was one point that I was very weak, and I would have passed out if I was not sitting down. So
Yeah.
it was really hard, you guys. And I feel like, well, that's basically the story. You know, I pushed it out. Um, but I want to talk next how to fight this, you know, and how to avoid it in the future, you know, because we haven't been attacked like that since. That was really like, well, I've dealt with other things as far as like my subconscious, as far as doing spell work and things like that, which I think is different than that, you know, dealing with your subconscious trying to like fight you. But an external entity coming inside of you and projecting thoughts and feelings and emotions that are not yours, and completely knocking you off course, knocking you off balance, knocking your equilibrium, literally shifting you in another dimension. Like that spirit took a whole complete hold.
Yeah.
You know, so Yeah, I want to talk about that. Like, how to avoid this, how to, develop yourself so that this does not happen again.
Avoidance avoidance is really hard because it's like something that you said earlier. It's a whole fucking universe out there, and just like the entirety of our earth has, corners and nooks and crannies that we have no understanding of. So there's like a mirror world of that in the spiritual, in the astral, in the unseen world, in universe, the spirit realm, the astral realm. So there are so many different entities. There are so many different. I mean, our imagination cannot fathom because we only know this. So avoidance is kind of like saying, walk through the woods but not expect to run into any wildlife. It's just not possible.
Right.
It's just not possible. But what you can do is you can develop techniques to secure yourself, protect yourself, making sure that you're working with the right entities, making sure that you're doing the right research before you just jump into with these entities. And that takes me back to a lot of people who want, they've come to us for tranquil spirit work. Okay? And it's like, those are the type of entities right there that will come and spiritually attack your ass. Okay? Like, those are the types. And you want this type of working done for or with or between you and a lover, so it's like being very aware of what you're dealing with at the same time. Now, at some point, like I said in the beginning of this video, you have to go through it. Like you have, there's no way you can be that fresh walking through the spirit realm and then something not try to come up on you. Like, the spirits know us right now. Like, they must know what time it is with us because they don't try that shit. You know what I'm saying? When I talk to spirits, if I'm talking to a goetic king, or I'm talking to an angel, or I'm talking to, any type of spirit, I have a great place of reverence and respect, but I also stand in myself. I'm assertive. I am present. I'm not wilting, and I'm not like, scared or nervous. But all that shit has left because, I know what time it is. I know when the spirit is talking to me, that it's not me losing my mind. It's not me going crazy. So it's about that establishing your spiritual self. Okay, that needs to be concrete and fortified before you go wandering in the woods. You can't go wandering in the woods without, your water, without your flashlight, without your necessary essential survival tools, because you will get lost and you will get taken advantage of. So I think that's the most important thing, to proceed with caution, number one. Number two, sort of work on grounding and fortifying techniques to know yourself. Know yourself and know that when these motherfuckers come, like, they cannot whoop you. It doesn't matter. Because first of all, it comes from an intangible place. So unless they, and this is what I usually say, like, if I am ever in any doubt, because I feel like after that initial spiritual attack, I have had other lesser forms try to come. And my thing is this: shake something, make something move in this room. Right. You really got power. I will test the spirit, like, where you at? Because you ain't shaking me until you rapping.
Yes.
Okay? You pick up until you pick up the flashlight. I'm not the flashlight. Until you pick up the lamp and sling her across the room, or you pick my ass up and sling me across the room, I don't see you.
Okay.
What's up? So, would you like to elaborate on that, Raymond?
I absolutely agree with that. And also, I wanted to say that our inexperience with spirits was a big part of why we were attacked. And I feel like once you know what spirits are, once you get over your programmed fear of spirits, you're not going to
Mhm.
experience that. That was my first time ever being attacked, so I didn't know about those voices. I didn't know, that that could happen that way. But now, if it were to happen, I know how to fight it. I know how to address it. I'm not afraid. I know that it's an entity. I know, so being an experienced magical practitioner, being an experienced magician, experienced witch, this is part of the deal. This is part of our
It's
lives,
absolutely, yeah.
so you know what? Throughout your whole life, you may just encounter spirits or entities that will psychically attack you. But the thing is, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do?
Hello.
Are you gonna sit there and take the ass whooping, or is you gonna fight? You know what I'm saying? You
And that's one thing that, you know, I gained from you as my friend, and because this bitch on the other line, honey, this one over here, this a rowdy one, honey.
but I'm scary though. One thing I can say about you, girl, is that you you like when a spirit will come, you would get rowdy with it. Like I didn't do that. Like you would, like what's T? Like you would, like yell out loud. Like you would kind of like antagonize it. You know what I'm saying? You would like attack
Yeah.
it back. Like I
When you laugh, you have to laugh. You have to laugh. You have to mock it, because when you give it, when you start to give in to that fear, that's when the voice becomes louder. That's when the influence becomes louder. Because all it can do is draw, all of that entity that's psychically attacking you can do is draw off of your own natural energy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it can't move anything. It can't shake anything. So it needs you to be
Yeah.
afraid. It needs you to believe that it has that power over you. But when you say to them,
Absolutely.
"Oh, bitch, move something," that's what I always say. I
Okay.
haven't had nothing moved yet. Okay,
Yeah.
pick it up.
Get
Okay,
rowdy with
slam it
it.
against the wall.
Yeah, get rowdy. Show me, whoop me, whoop
Whoop me.
me. Absolutely. So this is something that we have developed over time. This type of confidence. So
Yes.
you have to develop it. You will get psychically attacked if you're a real witch, if you're a real magical practitioner, if you actually do have a psychic link to the spirit realm,
Spirit
you're gonna
realm.
get attacked. It's about what are you gonna do about it? How are you gonna address it? How
Hello.
are you going to respond? What are the steps that you're gonna take? You know, those are the things. So definitely cleansings. Definitely sage the house. Okay, open those
Mm-hmm.
windows.
And
Sweep.
be very mindful. And I say this a lot. Be very mindful of what you accept into your house, because your house is a very sacred space. And when there's a lot of things out there that, like furniture that is
Mm-hmm.
donated or furniture that has been passed around. Be mindful of how old it is. Be mindful of if the person who owned it died. Like,
Mm-hmm.
those type of things have psychic links, okay, and they have psychic
Absolutely.
lingering debris. So, if you accepting that into your home, a place where you sleep and are, subconsciously vulnerable,
Yeah.
yeah,
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 and also I want to say for y'all witches out there, I would suggest cleansing the home at least every 6 months, twice a year minimum.
mm-hmm.
That's just my personal opinion. The minimum that you should do if you're out here actually working with spirits, if you're out here performing rituals, if you're out here, casting spells and doing all this type of spiritual work, at least every 6 months, you should do a deep cleanse in the house because that energy does marinate, it does settle, and it
Yes,
does
it does.
kind of run amok because it needs to do something. If it's just kind of like
Yes,
like standing around, you know what I'm saying? Like energy does not just stand there. Energy has to act and do something. So if you have stagnant energy, you haven't been burning your sigils, you got backed up work, you got stuff just kind of lying around and just kind of clutter, you're going to develop spirits because you're a spiritual person, right? Allegedly, right? And spirits are going to come to you by default. That's a thing. You're a witch, right? You're a psychic. You're a spiritual worker. You deal with spirits. So what's gonna be around you? Spirits. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, you're gonna have to.
Every working that you do,
Mm-hmm.
every working that you do, from simply reading tarot cards, dowsing, reading crystal balls, all the way into high magic of ceremonial calling spirits, invocations, you're fucking with a spirit. Like, one way or another, you are dancing with spirit. You know, all of it is spirit. The energy of the earth is spirit. So, there, like we said, it's like navigating in the woods. How, are you eclipsed?
Okay. And
So,
it's like that meme says, what is that meme about, like being in the woods and you being the most dangerous thing in there? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
That's how you have to see yourself. Like, they need to be afraid of me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you have to treat these spirits. Not only if you feel attacked, not just treat all spirits like that. If you feel attacked, if you feel like your home has been compromised, your aura, your energy, you feel like you're being drained, or you're feeling like attacked, then absolutely you have to defend yourself and stand your ground. And it's through your willpower and putting that aggression in the air and being a force. You have to be that and let these spirits know what time it is. Like, you will get up off me and you will leave my fucking house. And you have to just impose your will in the air and push them motherfuckers out, and then create a fucking wall. Visualization is important here. You have to know and trust in yourself that what you're doing is actually being done, that your will is being pushed out there, because these spirits work in the mind. Your mind has to be strong. You better develop that shit and stand in your truth when these spirits are doing this, so yeah.
Well, that's pretty much all
Yeah,
I
I
really
think
have
we.
to say on this subject.
Mm-hmm. I think we've pretty much covered it. If you guys have any other questions about psychic attacks, please let us know in the comments. We're open to, responding to you guys. So let us know if you guys have been psychic attacked. Let us know your experiences in the comments. So Raina, I guess we're good. Follow us on IG. Follow us on Instagram.
Raina Tees.
Raina_Tees. Raina_Tees. I think if they put Raina Tees, they could probably find us anyway. Probably.
They could.
Yeah, so definitely check us out.
Thank you guys so much for the support, the comments that you leave, subscribing to our channel. We are touching on different realms of magic, obviously.
Yes.
And we want to guys. So if you have any questions or you have anything that you'd like to hear on our show, definitely let us know.
All right, bye-bye.